What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Apex the Podcast. We have another 2 days to talk about here, and we are heading to go into the regional final. We're already almost at the first LAN, which is crazy because we still don't even know where it is yet. But the fact that we are already almost to the first LAN for Split 1 is wild. Absolutely insane. Just one more day, regional final, then we are there. We're going to talk about all of that stuff. We're also going to go through some of the aftermath with some of the teams who are eliminated, talk about some of them, quick little post-mortem on that kind of thing. And then we send it on down to a banger interview with Keon from Furia. Second time on the show. That dude is awesome. That dude is awesome. So shout out to Keon for hopping on the show. We'll get to that in a second. First, let's check in with the boys. E, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. It's been a pretty good week. Nothing to complain about. Some big things happening that I'm very much looking forward to. And
any teasers?
Yeah.
Give us a little something.
I'm trying to. It's life changing. I would say yeah. It's
gaming related. Or no?
I will just leave it at it's life changing.
Okay. All right.
And then that's what we'll tease for now.
All right.
Yeah.
That's big.
Weeps, how are you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Really happy I'm with my girl right now, and she's leaving on the 14th, and then on the 14th I'm going to Florida to hang out with family for a little bit. Oh, so fellas, I might not be on the next podcast. Just FYI. I forgot.
Got you.
Okay, high key, the fact that you're bringing that up, let's just tell everybody right now, guys, next week we are not going to have an episode of the podcast because I am also going to be gone.
Fuck.
And so, yeah, no podcast for next week.
You know what?
We're just letting y'all know ahead of time.
Here's
And
what I might
Wyatt,
do.
You're welcome for now knowing.
Or regional final is next week, right?
Okay, actually, yeah, we're going to need a solo pod from...
Yeah, I'm going to have to go solo.
You need to get Jayhawk.
Oh, there we go.
You need to say, Jayhawk, hey. Listen, my squad abandoned me. I need you to come on and do Apex the Pod with me for this week.
Yes.
He'll be like, I got you, bro.
Yes.
And then...
If we do the 18th, I think I can make it. Because I think I fly back the 17th, if I'm not mistaken.
I honestly don't want you guys to worry about it too much because, I think Jayhawk would do it, but also I definitely threw him under the bus in the interview on purpose. And I was like, I wanted Keon to know we were in the comeback video, but it was Jayhawk shitting on you guys, not us. I just wanted to make sure that it was him. It was Jayhawk, not the boys. So
Jay, you said
keep that in your head, Keon. That's what I definitely. So he might not come on next. I might have to go solo. I might have to go solo.
I might be here. I might be here. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so that's awesome. You were on a horse, bro.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, I rode a horse for the second time. I took my girl horseback riding 3 days ago, something. It was fun, dude. It was good. We had this dude who was like our guide for the horse, like riding in the trails. And I could tell you, like, he was, what's the right word? Dude that probably doesn't get out of the house too much and like socializes with a lot of people, right?
Uh-huh.
And my girl, she's a fucking smoke, right? So you could definitely tell this dude was like talking a lot to my girl, and I just thought it was hilarious, bro. And it was a good time, man. We had a blast, and she loved it, so that's all that matters.
There we go. I love to see it. Yeah, my week was pretty normal. Nothing too crazy. Trying to think if anything happened. Oh, I am 0 for 20 in Apex bets. I don't know how it's possible. I actually think it's almost more impressive. I think to be wrong 20 times in a row is actually somehow more impressive than like I'm actually glad I didn't win one. I'm actually happy. And that's not just me saying that to cover up my sadness.
You might just have to like let's say like, oh, I'm betting the over on Keon. You might just have to bet the under, bro. But
that's what I was thinking. Bro, I'm in some mental warfare with myself where this is what I've been doing and it's not working because I'm 0 for 20. The night before, I'll punch in what I think is good, and then the next morning I just switch it because I'm just like, I'm so bad. I'm just gonna switch it, and it didn't work. Nothing has worked so far for me. The only reason I even have money left in the account is because my hockey bets are killing it. I know hockey like the back of my hand. So that
Right.
has been saving me. But as far as Apex goes, there's nobody more cold than me. I started tweeting out like, okay, here's my bet slip. Fade me immediately. Just I want you guys to make money. I want everybody, the listeners, to make money. So whatever I pick, do the opposite.
You
You
just got to
will win.
counter pick Wyatt, and
You
you
just
will
counter
literally
pick
just
me.
be. It's actually, you might have discovered an infinite money glitch. Because if
Exactly.
we just need to get somebody to commit to counter picking Wyatt, and then see how successful they become as a result of it.
Yeah. They could rival Jeff Bezos with how I'm going right now. It's bad. Like it
Bet the house.
is actually bad. So yeah, that's basically it. Just completely I just suck. But it's okay. It's okay cuz hockey's been bailing me out. So we are all good. Okay, ladies and gents, let's not dwindle too long. Let's get into the actual days. Days 8 and day 9. We had 2 back-to-back days this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I want to kick it off with day 8, go through some of the storylines there. You got to start it off with Furia. Furia is our winner. They balled out. They had 2 big wins, plenty of crazy clips, awesome stuff coming out of Furia. We talked to Keon a little bit about it later on in the show, but just talk a little bit about Furia and the day 8 that they had because they were going nuts.
Yeah, they were playing fantastic Apex. They're ripping a lot of their games. They were playing the Watson Valkyrie Bloodhound comp, which has been absolutely working for them. And then we'll get a little bit more of a breakdown into why that comp is so successful. If you stick around for the interview with Keon, he'll get into it. But it was just a day of them making a strong comeback statement because like things were looking a little iffy for them when they were coming off that 19th place finish, and they just came out today and just absolutely balled out. The highlight of the day for sure was Watson pulling off. I believe it was a 1v3 basically, and an end game on Watson, and he just absolutely just like, and you would watch it and you'd be like, oh, it's a roller player, but it's like, no, that's like he's just playing MK and he just doesn't miss. He just doesn't miss, and it's a team that really is putting everything together, and I think being one of the only Watson team comps is playing into their favor. Because and yeah, Keon's going to get into it just with how dominant Caustic and Bangalore are in the current meta, and how many teams. It seems like I would say this is one of the more diverse metas, but definitely if there is a meta, the team comp that most teams are playing would be Bangalore, Hound, and Caustic. And Watson is a great counterpick to both Caustic and Bang. And so them being an early mover to this team comp, in the NA region specifically, I think is really one of the key things that is allowing them to be as successful as they are. And I think that if teams are smart, they're going to realize just how good Watson is, which doesn't really seem like Watson would be that great of a character, but with all of the buffs that she received, along with just how much she counters those 2 characters, they are showing why Watson is incredibly strong. I believe they played Caustic a few games on World's Edge, but I think that they'll be mixing that up moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely found success, and like Keon said, they're more of a brand new team compared to a lot of these other teams. And I think they took all that hate as motivation early on, preseason, and just transformed it into something, man. I mean, they're sitting 3rd overall. They're sitting good. It would have to be an absolute shit show for these guys not to make LAN. So I'm excited to see them at LAN and ball out, and hopefully they could have the storybook end in there that a lot of people are hoping for.
That's right. That is right. So to round out the rest of the top 5, besides our winner Furia, we had Disguised at number 2, Moist Esports at number 3, GKS number 4, and Xset number 5. I wanted to go into Disguised a little bit here. They're just they attract me like a moth to a flame because they're so entertaining to watch because you never know what kind of day you're going to get. And this day you got a banger squad of Disguised. Actually, this whole weekend they did pretty damn well. But it's really, you're starting to see a little bit more maturity from the team, and it looks like they're doing a lot of introspection in between these game days to where they're working on some of the things that are holding them back the most. But really, what's kind of changed from them having a bad weekend to a good weekend is the fact that they're just starting to get kills again. Like, they didn't have a win on this day. They did get a second place, but they're just putting up 10 bods, 10 bods, 11 bods. Like, they're going out there and they're slaying, which when this squad was formed, you would think that that would be the thing that they were doing the most, which in the weekends that they haven't been doing well, they were getting away from that a little bit. So DSG looking really, really good. You guys notice anything from Disguised?
Dude, Designs Wraith is going to be really fun to watch moving forward. I think the more that he plays Wraith, the more that he's gonna want to play Wraith. And with how successful they've been, with the aggressive portals that they've been playing, I think he's really highlighting something that I thought the majority of Wraith players didn't utilize as well as they could have, is just using the portal to basically give yourself just like an instant get out of jail free card. Because what you can do with it is you can use the phase portal combination to allow your team to have presence at a spot that they can instantly teleport in full safety away from, and you can just take really aggressive angles. And Design is absolutely putting on just a beautiful showcase. A good example is in one of the games that they won on, I believe, match day on that was on March 9th, the first one of the weekend. It was a final 3v3, and he's able to just phase port to the other side of the enemy team, which forces that team to have, like, they have to be like, okay, we have to look at this way because there's going to be Wraith coming out of a port. But then while that attention is being drawn on Design, it allows enemy and Timmy to just take angles and take space, and it's just Design does damage, gets out, he's free, while that team is in shambles, looking multiple different directions, having Timmy and a Bloodhound ult, which is also something we need to highlight. That dude is dropping nukes.
He's crazy
on Bloodhound. We talked a little bit earlier in the season about how Bloodhound was kind of shifting into more of an MNK role, because if you have an MNK player who has S tier mechanics like Timmy does, with a Bloodhound ult and a Havoc, that shit just gets, like, everything is dying in sight. And it just the combination of everything that DSG has going on. We talked about how, like, they were looking a little bit iffy coming into this weekend on what it was like. Okay, they're like borderline. I think they were a little bit outside. And it was going to be like, okay, are they going to be able to show up for this second half? And man, they showed up, they showed out, and there's a reason why they're in fourth right now.
Yeah, like you said, M and K, bro, on Bloodhound. I think we're seeing a lot of that because of the amount of bangs and the amount of caustics that they're playing in. So they just hop in the gas, they hop in the smoke, bro. They can see everything. That Havoc's, it's got what, 36 rounds in a purple mag?
With a purple mag? Oh, dude.
Come on. That's basically a mini LMG, which with minimum bullet drop, right? And the velocity is insane. So, I mean, it just goes to show you. I did say, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago that Disguise, one of the things that could bring them down is definitely the vibes. I mean, vibes have gotten better this week, and we're seeing a second place and a fourth place from them. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. And back to what you said about the Design on Wraith, I think Design is one of the most aggressive players in Apex comp. And I think Wraith just allows him to open up that toolbox and do a lot more with, his mechanics as a player. So I'm excited to see him. They got a great storyline. I mean, Timmy's always wanted to be a pro player, and, just for them to get another shot at another LAN after coming so close at the last one, being a brand new team, and now they're signed under Disguise. They brought a brand new massive org to no, Disguise was in Apex before, right? With Duplex.
Mm-hmm.
But they brought him back. So it's awesome to see. Awesome to see.
Yeah, also funny visual. I don't even know if it was on this day or if it was on day 9, but using that Wraith portal on World's Edge, I think it was on, I don't know if it was on staging or the one that looks just like staging. The other,
Countdown?
what's the other countdown? I think it was actually on countdown. They're coming like from the silos and down on one of those bridges that you can activate. They knew there was a team down there. So Design ports down and he opens up the port, and sitting right in front of him is fucking Tech in drone, just standing there, just standing completely still. He fries him. Obviously, he wasn't able to get the full kill, but it's just so funny. Like, I want to take a screenshot of that and just like post that somewhere, because seeing visuals like that, it reminded me of when Tripods was playing in Pro League and they were out in the middle of the ocean on Storm Point, hiding behind a trident because they got caught out on a rotate. It's just one of those pictures that's so funny to look at, because you just see a guy looking down like he's looking at his phone or something like that, just fucking in drone, getting shot out of just completely into oblivion. Great visual, great day from Disguised. I wanted to kind of go into some of the other things here from this day. I think the biggest storyline to me was a lot of the teams that were on the bubble heading into this weekend were teams that absolutely dominated and had themselves a very good day. Some of these could have had better days, but it is very good to see that some of those teams that we were iffy on, teams that might be able to fall out, were able to bounce back. Some of those were Disguised. Other ones, GKS, Eggset. We got Drop In Gaming and Oxygen. If you look at GKS, they got 4th. Eggset got 5th. Drop In Gaming 6th. Oxygen Gaming 7th. They all needed a big day. They came out with it. They made sure that they got some points heading into this regional final to kind of more securely lock in that spot that they need to get. The one that really I'm looking at right now, the one that I'm kind of worried to see if they make it, is GKS, because they did have one of those tough days right afterwards, and I'm just kind of I don't know, but they bounce back. They get the 4th here. So it's cool to see some of these teams that were on the bubble kind of solidified their spot, but there is going to be a team that really deserves to be there that doesn't make it. And it's going to be tough to watch. Did you guys have any thoughts on some of these bubble teams?
E?
You got it.
I mean, it's close, man. It's close. I mean, Xset is sitting at 13th, which means as of right now, they're not making land, right? But they're 2 points away from tying from number 12, which is GKS, and 6 points away from 11th, right? I think these boys need to give it everything they have this weekend. But, a lot of big names that aren't making this land, bro. There's a massive possibility Optic is not making this land. I mean, they're sitting at 59 points. The cutoff is 72. Regional finals is coming. I don't think, unless they have one of the biggest days,
it's so tough
in Apex history, in ALGS history, and also at the same time, the people right above them, Drop In Gaming, Xset, GKS, and maybe Oxygen, have a bad game. They're not making it, man.
Yeah.
Sentinels.
Does the winner auto qualify?
The winner does auto qual, so they would have to literally win, but it's also match point format, which we saw what happened last year at Champs. They were so close
Optic.
so many
Hey,
times.
but that's what learning's for.
That's true.
Yep. So I will.
And if
say,
there's a time to put it together, it's Optics time.
my mouse just died, so I can't scroll the thing right now. But
All right.
another big name, Sentinels, man. Sentinels not making it, which they're a T1 org, and the fact that they're not making it is tough to see. And a lot of these T1 orgs, they need to see results to be able to say, hey, let's keep investing in Apex, let's keep investing in this team. FaZe in the bottom 8, which means as of right now they are no longer in Pro League, right? For next split, next season of Pro League. So that's tough, man. That's tough. What do you think, Wyatt?
No, it's definitely the worst part of this industry, and it's just because it's such a results-based league, which I think most leagues are, but I think there is some leeway. This one, there is absolutely no leeway. It's like you qual or you're done. And we've seen it so many times, just very good rosters, and even rosters who do well. Like we saw Luminosity from last year, all of a sudden now they're Legacy. They get dropped for what LG feels like is a better opportunity with Sweet and the boys. So, it's really, that's the tough part about our league is how quickly things can change and turn on a dime for you. Last little storyline about day 8 before we move on here. The big dogs. The big dogs struggled, man. Luminosity and TSM really had a tough day. Keon kind of gets into it in the interview with some of the reasons why he thinks that there might be a little bit of a struggle with these two teams. And it kind of comes down to the fact that right now, at least to his, what Keon understands it as, there's a lot of pressure on IGLs right now because the pacing of the game is different from the start of the season. The beginning of the season is drastically different than the second part of the season, and the pacing's different. And so what makes it hard for these IGLs who have been IGLing the same for probably beyond the season are really having to change the way that they do things here. And so TSM, Luminosity, you talk about two IGLs who are hard IGLs. You're talking about Sweet. You're talking about Imperial How. And they're kind of struggling a little bit. TSM's just really not getting too many kills also right now. It's been tough sledding for them recently. I know the last few weeks they haven't done as well as they would have liked to, but I'm pretty sure, they're a lock for LAN. I'm almost positive. Same with LG. You just got to wonder, what do they have in their bag of tricks to kind of help them, bounce back from the struggles that they've had recently. You guys have anything else on day 8 before we move on to day 9?
Well, it's not necessarily it's more so referring to like the bubble teams. So something that I do think is going to be something to keep an eye on, especially heading into this regional finals, is Dark Zero has absolutely, without a doubt, solidified the fact that they are 1,000,000% heading to this LAN. No matter what happens, regional finals, those boys, passports stamped, they're gone, they're there. TSM is in a spot where they are at 79 and currently 9th, and the cutoff is only 72. And so if a team that is outside of like the top 12 wins it, and SSG, Oxygen, and GKS have good days, there's a very high potential that TSM might not make it. Then you throw on the fact that I don't think I've seen a team get more shit talked in my life than when DZ didn't qual for finals, from majority coming from the TSM fan base. So there's a potential that DZ just takes their entire regional finals and just griefs TSM, chalking their chances of qualling, and then it goes from haha DZ didn't make finals to haha TSM didn't make LAN.
Oh my god!
And that is a potential and something that could happen, because like the only reason that DZ wouldn't do that is if they were just like, oh, we want to set the record for the most amount of Pro League points that anybody's gotten. But I mean, if you're in DZ's shoes, your number one competition for a team that's going to beat you at LAN is TSM. And if I'm DZ, I'm landing on them every single game, and you don't even have to kill them. You just have to contest them long enough to fuck up all their rotates, all their everything, and just be like a thorn in their side. And TSM might not make LAN.
It's definitely a possibility
about that.
But I also want us to realize who we're talking about. We're talking about Hal. We're talking about Reps. We're talking about Verhulst, right? Like, these guys are talent on another level that is almost extinct, right? And these guys, in my opinion, perform the best when people are talking shit, right? As we saw with the online on the online tournament that we had 2 years ago, when everybody was writing off TSM and they ended up winning at Launchpad by the dome near the lava.
Yeah, I remember what you were talking about. That was like right after they had just picked up Verhulst.
Yeah. All right. All that shit talking. But also they play their ass off when their backs are against the wall, right? As we saw at Champs in Birmingham, where these guys were 17th, maybe 16th overall. won 3 back-to-back games to then take first place and win champs, right? But it's a very real possibility that DZ just griefed TSM. You
Do you
know,
think?
And you can say that that's definitely like shady and not an honorable way to play, but at the end of the day, DZ has fucking earned it.
Bro,
They have earned the right all season long to have a day where they can do whatever they want.
is it shady though if like the majority of the shade coming towards your team was from this one team that is now struggling? Like, is it still shady? You
And
know?
see that's up to each individual's like own interpretation.
Okay, now here's a question for you both though, like a
Uh,
real question. Do you think TSM has like talked this over? Like, hey, there's a good chance that they try to do this, or do you think they've kind of just been like, there's no way they would do this?
let me tell you, knowing Raven, all right, and knowing the boys at TSM, these guys are thinking of every possibility, right? From winning regional finals to having random team contest them and everything. But these guys are locked in. And I will say, if they do make it to land, which I think is a very high possibility, I believe in the boys, they're a whole different animal. Once they walk into that arena, man, once they get comfortable at their setups, it's a fresh start. You know, all these points from Pro League, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we'll see what happens. And it's definitely a possibility, boys.
See, like, I know I do this every week, but I'm going to do it again. Bring it back to football a little bit. Every time that the Broncos did anything good in the playoffs, they had to beat the Patriots first. They had to beat the Patriots first. And every single time we ran into the Patriots, it was always a battle, and most of the time we lost. So if you're thinking to yourself, we know we're going to have to beat this team. This is the team that has to be beat every single time. And you have an opportunity to kill them off before they can even get to the playoffs. Do you not take that chance? Like, imagine if they
if
don't.
if I'm DZ, I am dropping on them every time. And if the hard chows aren't going well, I'm literally going to soft chow and literally just follow them on their rotate, shooting at them with a scout or a 30, and literally just doing anything I like. Because it's not even about winning a fight, it's about literally just causing
Enough
their
havoc.
game to get thrown off beat. And if you throw them off beat, they're gonna have a bad day. And I'll agree with Peeps. These guys are some of the best in the world class esport players. Like, few come close to the level of performance and excellency that these guys operate on when they're on. But like, you can be the absolute like best in the world, and if the number one team in the current league right now is landing on you, contesting you, literally making it their sole intention of griefing you, it's going to be hard to have a good day.
Yep.
And so I would love to see TSM at LAN, but it's hard to not look at it and view it as a no-brainer must-do from DZ.
Let me tell you something. I'm a strong believer in karma, right? I do believe if DZ goes that route and griefs TSM, it's gonna come back to bite him in the ass eventually, right?
Mhm.
May not be next Pro League season, right? May not be the next playoffs, but it's coming, man. You know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's up in the air, boys.
The one thing I just keep thinking about is, obviously, I think if I had to like make this in my own mind, TSM goes to LAN. You have to have TSM at LAN. They have to be there. They are a big driver for why our sport is so big, because that team is so big. They have the Dallas Cowboy effect. Like, people love to hate them, love to love them. You got to have them there. But the thing I'm thinking about, one more thing before I go into that, is it's not professional to do. I don't think for DZ to do that. I don't think it would be like the pro way to do it. I feel like it would be like kind of shady, a little bit weird. You know, you talk about players in different leagues. You say that's a consummate pro. They've taken their knocks on the chin and they got up and they just carried on and went on to the next thing. It's a business. They understand that. But all of that is to say, but if I'm DZ, we go to this LAN and fucking TSM finds a way to win like they've shown themselves to do, and they're up holding that trophy up, and you're sitting there once again without the trophy that with their season, they probably should have got. I would be so mad at myself for not doing it. I would be like, why didn't we kill this off when we had the chance? That's all I'm saying. I don't once again, I think TSM should go to LAN. I would rather have them there. But I'm also looking at it from DZ's end.
I think all cards are on the table because we are talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? But not only that, another title, another LAN win, which it's up, people go back and forth. Is Zero the best IGL? Is How the best IGL? Based on LAN wins, because that's all it's about. Everybody plays in Pro League to get to LAN, to win LAN. So we'll see. We'll see. All cards on the table.
Very interesting. Very interesting point by Enoch there. Very interesting. I'd love to see what people have to say about it, what they would do for themselves. You can always join the Discord, answer that question down below. I'll probably send something out, see what people would want to do. Join the Discord, the Apex the Podcast Discord. You can find teammates there as well. Boys, let's move on into day number 9 here. And our winner, Legacy. You want to talk about a team that knows how to fight 3v3? Legacy is next level. The fact that they are not signed to an org is ridiculous. They're still not signed, right? I'm right in that.
Unsigned.
I did hear that
Unsigned.
a South American team was thinking about it, but I guess they didn't do it.
There's promising Twitter exchanges, but at least nothing has come as a result of it, to my knowledge.
I know they got some offers.
But they do have offers?
I don't know if they currently have offers, but they had offers. But here's the thing: I don't think they're providing the boys what they need, their value, right? Mm-hmm. Which I respect Legacy for saying, "Oh, you know what? Let's just sign this. Let's take this." Fuck that. You know what I mean? These guys, like you said, 3 of the best fighting players in the world. Yanya. Let me just tell you one thing: Yanya, 25 kills. On March 10th, the final day of Pro League before regional finals. The Skies, which came at 4th, you know how many total kills they had as a team?
Like 20, 18?
25. Yanya
25.
had as many kills by himself as the number 4 team that week, and also came through with a couple 1v3s. Disgusting.
Yanya, the whole team is crazy. So they had 2 wins on this day. 2 wins, right? That's good. That's very good. The final fight in those 2 wins, if I'm not mistaken, were DZ and Moist. 3v3, head-to-head. The first one, I think, was against Moist, which was impressive. The second one against DZ, I don't know how they won it. I have looked at all the different angles. They are running towards DZ, and I think 2 of the players get cracked, and it's just like the third one knows who to shoot, where to shoot, to be able to give his teammates enough time to heal up, get back in the fight, and they turned the entire face of the fight in like 15 seconds. I don't know how they do it. They're so good. They had 22 kills in game 5. 22 kills, and their other one they had 13. Legacy, they know how to fight, man. They know how to fight. It's crazy to me that a team hasn't looked at that, an org hasn't looked at that and said, dude, we can make some money with this. That's what they're in this for, right? To make money. Dude, You've got a roster right here. I know they had some troubles at first, and they're not like 100% lock to go to LAN. Right now they're sitting at 7th, 82 points. They're going to need a good day to like really solidify it. But I'm not putting it past them. And also, their issues early on were strictly because of connectivity. Like they had teammates not being able to load into matches, not being able to get the restarts on the matches, teammates like falling out of matches mid-match, and it's hard to win that way. Like it's very difficult to win that way. But Legacy, they are incredible. Just an absolute banger of a team. I really hope someone signs them. Do you guys have anything else on Legacy before we move on into some of these other teams?
Yeah, I just got to say, keep in mind, these guys are also playing on ping, right? get them on LAN where everybody's on the same ping, it's going to be a whole nother menace, you know. And huge shout out to Jake Lucky for actually tweeting the fact that these guys are unsigned. Hopefully that brought some eyes to this team, and get these guys a paycheck every month because they deserve it, man. They're working their ass off. So we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot to come.
Yeah, so other than Legacy getting the first place finish, winning the day, we had Dark Zero at second, Moist at third, Disguised at fourth, and Eternal EC back in the top 5. I wanted to talk a little bit about Moist and Dark Zero, the second and third place teams here. What the fuck is going on with the Australian teams coming over to NA and just running our shit? They are running our shit. I don't think Dark Zero ever got below like 5th or something crazy.
To be fair, they did both pick up NNA roller. And so
two of the
yes,
best.
They are Aussie teams pulling up to an A.
1/3
and
American.
Absolutely running the show. But yeah, they are 1/3 American rosters. And so let's make that be very clear before we get into the rest of this. But dude, I mean, we saw DZ grow to like the undisputed APAC South best team, no question. They move over to NA, struggle a little bit to start, but when they're moving over from NA, you got Moist who stepped up, filled those shoes incredibly fast, and I believe like it was pretty much no question. These guys are the best, and then they've now made the switch over to NA as well, and yeah, with the addition of of Sykes and Guild respectively, they've really just come together and are showing why they felt confident enough to go from a smaller region to the biggest and most competitive in the world, and probably showing us that we're probably sleeping on Apex South. I would say collectively as like an Apex culture, we probably need to put way more respect on Apex South as a region because clearly they can cook.
Something's in the water there. I mean,
it has to be, dude.
It's gotta be.
It has to be.
It's got. Who was Dark Zero's org before Dark Zero? I forgot.
Rig.
Reignite. Yeah. Yep. All right.
And then
they
Moist
dropped
was
the ball
Team
on
Burger.
that. Yeah. They dropped the ball on that, man. I mean, them just holding out and sticking with the boys at Dark Zero, and instead of selling the team to Dark Zero, these boys would have had hundreds of thousands of dollars, in land winnings. But this is what it is.
Like I would say like the land winnings is that's a big amount of money that they potentially missed out on. But the brand awareness from the fact that you got just the only competition for the biggest team in the industry, I agree with you. That was a hard sell from Reignite, no doubt.
Hard sell.
But we also don't know how much DZ bought him out for, because I bet it had to be because they bought him out after they had just while they were number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine that DZ was just splashing more money than most of us are imagining.
It was a lot of zeros for Dark Zero. Let me tell you.
Had to be.
Oh, yeah.
Had to be. I did want to point out one thing that is kind of bad, kind of good, and I'll give both sides of it here. Moist Esports. Obviously, Moist Esports is owned by Moist Critical. Charlie, big on YouTube. He put a video out talking about his frustration with trying to get Moist Esports their visas. And the bad thing is they don't have them yet. They're like everything, the US will not let them in. I don't they're just finding any excuse by listening to Charlie's video. I don't know the full story, but by listening to his video, they're making it ridiculously hard, and I guess the agent is just not helping whatsoever. It's been very difficult to get them that. On the other hand, Moist Critical, I think, has 14 million subscribers on YouTube, and he ranted for 11 minutes about how he wanted to get his Apex Legends esports team into the US because they're fucking baller and they're going to show out at LAN. And that video going out to 14 million people, there might be a few people who are like, wait, Apex has an esports league? What? What? Huh? I mean, we
It's
all
good.
know it, but
It's
we're
good.
like deep. We're deep. And for the people who don't understand it, they're like, dude, I love Charlie. I love Moist Critical. I just want to watch with him. He said in the video that he was going to be doing and streaming the live watch along while they were playing. So more eyeballs, more things coming our way, better for us. Better for us. So bad because we want them to be able to play here. Good because we got the owner of a fantastic org and a big org and a big name to talk about our sport, which is awesome. Always good. Always good to have something like that. Okay, moving on from Dark Zero and Moist, the big storyline for me here is Xset and Optic. They did a little bit this weekend. I'm not gonna lie, they did a little bit this weekend, and Peeps already talked about it a little bit earlier, but they just did not do enough. And at least with Xset, you could say, okay, we're only a few points out. Like we can do this. If you're Optic, I think you're in the territory of we have to fucking win this thing. Like we absolutely have to win in order to get in. Optic is another org when you think like TSM, they should be there, man. Like whatever you feel about them, they should be there. They are a huge org. They should be there. It really sucks how the season has gone for them. It feels like they've tried everything to try and like figure out what's been going on, and it really hasn't come around yet. Obviously, we still have Split 2. Obviously, we still have champs and all that kind of stuff. Who knows what'll happen in the future here? But it really does feel like Optic is in that territory of, dude, we got to fucking just win. We got to win.
They cannot play reserve. Let me tell you, they need all the kills they can get. They need all the placement they can get. And I'm hoping the boys get there, man. I know. So at champs, I actually had breakfast with Dropped and his dad. And let me tell you something, it means a lot to them. So I'm hoping the boys make it. And but at the end of the day, Xset's sitting good, man. I mean, 2 points away from tying for 12th. And I think they have it in the bag. Like I said last week, Nocturnal, one of the greatest IGLs in the game. And they got Koifel, which arguably is the best controller player in the world right now, So I got faith in them. Optic, not so much, man. I mean, these guys need to give it everything they have and more, and say a little prayer, man. They need the squads on top of them to not do as well.
Yeah, so that should just about do it for day 9. Lots of crazy action going on in day 9, but Legacy they were the storyline here. They were playing awesome in day 9. So let's move on into the major standings now. We have all of our teams headed into the regional final, which means that some of these teams are out. And some of these teams that have worked hard, all of their work, they're going to have to start packing it up and moving into the next season, start getting their mind right for split number 2. If we look down here, we got our top 20 teams. And then right after that, we have 2 teams that are still qualified and will stay for Split 2 Pro League. That is Oblivion, and that is Gaming Gladiators. They are staying, so they will be back. They just didn't make it to the regional final. They will not be able to go. The bottom 8 teams, those ones have been relegated to qualifiers. That is Meat Lovers, DNO, FaZe, Oversleepers, MPG, Skirt, Evolution, and Temper. So tough for all those teams there. Obviously, the big one headlining that, we talked about it earlier. When you're a big org and your roster isn't producing, you cut it quick, and FaZe comes to mind. They're the top of that list. You see FaZe down there. I don't think anybody expected FaZe to make a huge splash with the roster that they had, but I also don't think they expected them to be bottom 8. Very tough to see for FaZe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with that roster. From what we've seen up until this point, it does seem that like FaZe is very committed to Snipe Down, and that it'll be at least like the FaZe roster in Apex. It'll be whoever Snipe Down ends up playing with. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep on moving in that direction. Who the who Snipe Down, if like they're going to keep running it back with Panders and Zera, or if Snipe Down is going to look for a new duo to team up with. Or if FaZe ends up deciding to go in a different direction, as Peep said earlier, one of the best teams you could pick up right now are those legacy boys, and that'd be a cool statement.
Would be good, man. Snipes my brother, man. And you know, I hope everything works out for him. I know no matter what, he's such a smart individual, bro, that he'll make whatever happen. But would be great to see FaZe sticking with Snipe. Would also be great to see FaZe giving the props to Legacy. You know, like somebody needs to pick these guys up. I think the fact that they're unsigned yet, it just has to do with the fact that they are not an American team per se. They're a Mexican team. English isn't their first language. They mostly speak Spanish on their streams, which is a hard sell for advertisers, right? So I think that's the main problem that they're having there. But I hope everything works out for both those teams there, all 6 of those guys.
Yeah, so very tough to see the bottom 8 right there. But they will, like I said, we talked about it with some of the teams that came in through preseason qualifiers, teams like Temper, teams like Oversleepers. There are some teams that it's kind of their first kick at the can, and they'll have an opportunity in the future to go. I mean, you look at Oversleepers, VOD is only 16, going on 17, right? So it's like a lot of time to develop and become a player that eventually can lead a team into better positioning going into a LAN and stuff like that. So it's good experience to get under the belt. Good experience. Okay, so rounding all of that out, last week we did this and I really liked it. I'd like to get your guys' winners from the weekend. Obviously, we know Legacy won. Obviously, we know that I'm blanking. Furia won. We already know that, but what were some of your other teams maybe that weren't in the necessary winner circle that you think were winners from this weekend? I will start once again. I'm going to go with DSG. I think the vibes felt a lot better with Disguised. I think they were feeling really, really good going into this. I like seeing them kind of embrace that identity once again of like, hey, we're going to kill you. Like, that's our identity. We go out, we kill. That is what we do. And, they didn't, I think they got 1 win this weekend, a second place or 2. One of their games was so shitty because they probably had a chance to win. I think it was when Furia won their first game on day 8. They got stuck in the lava and they were trying to climb up. And I think Enemy had the right climb up, but Design couldn't get it. He was trying to port them on top. If he's able to get that port up there, there's a very good chance that they pull away with that game and potentially win that day. So Disguise doing Disguise things, we love to see it. Also saw some times where Timmy was calling off Design on certain calls where it's like, Design, he has a lot of experience. He knows what he's doing. But it is nice to see Timmy kind of be like, hey, I'm going to make this play. And when it works out, you'd be like, okay, give this guy his props. He's grinded hard for it, and he's learning as the thing goes along. So that's my winner from this weekend. I'm going to go with Disguised. Anybody else?
I think if we got to take a winner, I know you said other teams, but I got to go with Legacy, bro. Not only the brand awareness for the 3 fellas there, but winning it and putting themselves in a 7th place spot, 2 points away from tying for 5th. All right, 4 points from tying away for 3rd. And all the press that they got, for their brand to hopefully get signed by a really good org. Clear-cut winners for me. Clear-cut. I got to go with them.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go with, I agree with both of you guys. I think that like DSG and Legacy, like they 100%, all the points you guys just made, so valid. I'm going to go with Xset because that, as like a winner of this week, because yes, they had a 5th place and a 7th place, which isn't the best, isn't the greatest, but it was enough to keep the land chances alive when at one point it was looking very bleak. And so that was a team that this weekend was going to be very important for them. And they have set themselves up to be able to take everything that they've learned throughout the season, all of the bad days, all of the rough goes, and they're going to be able to put it together and really just give themselves a good shot to have a good day at regional finals and stamp that ticket to land.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. There we go. Well, ladies and gents, that is our preview, and that is our wrap up from day 8 and 9. Regional finals next week. It should be a blast. We're going to send it on down to our interview now with Furia Keon. Second time on the show. Keon is awesome to talk to. He goes through everything with Furia, how they became a team. Also does some personal stuff about how life has changed after getting married and balancing that and gaming on top of it. So let's hit a quick ad and send it on down to Keon. All right, here we are, ladies and gents, with a very special guest, recurring guest, back on the show for the second time. And with a new team, we've got Furia Keon here on the pod. Going to talk about Furia and how they are doing right now. Keon, how have you been, my man?
Been good, dude. Just, grinding my life away with Apex, so not really anything has changed too much. Like from the last time I was here, I guess. I guess in my life it changed a lot. I got married.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I was writing that down.
I was like, this dude, nothing's changed
Apex,
much. I was like, what?
In Apex, nothing's changed. Like I'm still grinding every day, just like before. I've been a little bit better about uploading stuff on TikTok and YouTube recently and shit like that. But wait, can I swear?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally
Go
cool.
ahead, rip it.
All right, but yeah, in my life, like things changed. Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house with my wife, with my in-laws now. But like, it's kind of like they own the building, but like we live in it and we rent.
There we go.
It's kind of nice having my own space. I'm not gonna lie. I never realized, like, when I went to college the first time, I really forgot how it felt to be on my own,
Mhm.
And then when I got used to living with my parents and my family again, so then it was like I was used to that, and then now it's like, oh my gosh, it's so nice just to like have your own space and not have to like worry about like what's going on with the family and all that stuff.
It really is like the biggest upgrade that I think everybody expects it to be an upgrade, but it's just like the little things are nice. Like you said, not having to worry about the family dynamic. Sometimes you feel like you're intruding a little bit. It's just nice to just be like, all right, this is where I'm at. Like I'm just chilling.
Yeah,
man. So that's awesome to see. Congratulations on getting married. And you say not a lot has changed in your Apex life, but since the last time you were on, a ton of things have gone down. A lot of different things have happened to where we got to unpack all of this. First of all, I just like to say congrats right now. I'm going to put a stamp on it. You guys are going to LAN. We're sitting right now third in the standings. You, Madness, his Watson. It's been a crazy ride so far. Overall, just how do you think the season's been going for you guys?
The first half was good because I really enjoyed the legends in comparison to the ones now. I feel like the first half you could control your outcome no matter what situation you were in. If you were a low ground, you had Horizon. If you were you had Bang Smokes for micro rotates, you had Catwall for micro rotates. And oh man, I enjoyed the first half way more than I've enjoyed the second half. And with the big update and everything changing and like how you get armors and stuff, it was just like a rough change for like Furia, because the first half we were having Madness IGL, like just hard IGL, because Watson didn't want to help really with that. He just wanted to like play with me and frag out. And then when the meta changed, man, Madness's playstyle and IGL style was just way too slow or way too fast for like what needs to be done to get like armors and have loot. So we'd be going to zone with like blue armor and get a good spot, and then we'd get ran up on by a red armor team and die. But I don't know, like the overall with like the new team and shit, it's so nice. Like it's nice playing with Madness and Watson, especially Watson, and competitive.
And how
has that been? Oh,
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So how has that been playing with Watson? Like the guy who, without a doubt, is like your closest friend that you've met through Apex, and then you guys are on this journey, and then you guys are playing for different comp teams. What's it like being able to play on the same team, working together basically every day?
Yeah, I mean it's so dope. So I mean, like for people that know, way back in the day, like we played the old Challenger circuits pretty much when it was just like the ALGS Winter Circuit 1, Winter Circuit 2, Winter Circuit 3, when anybody could sign up for
wasn't
those.
it?
RX,
The RX,
bro.
the pharmacy boys.
The pharmacy boys, bro. And like we played together back then, but I was working 2 jobs. I didn't really have time for Apex, and like we kind of sucked. Like I mean, I think everybody back then kind of like was a bad player in comparison to that how they are now. Like everybody's improved a lot since then. And so like for people that knew us from back then, like it's not really that big of a deal. But after like all the improvement that we've had, and like obviously like all the growth we've had is separately, it's like really nice to come back together after we've improved at so many different things and also been through a lot together. Because now, bro, like after we've competed against each other and everything, like I remember when he was playing with Furia and I just got on the guard, and like we pretty much like Furia went from qualing like through the LCQ and winning, or pretty much winning champs, you know, like the match point bullcrap, but he took second at champs. And then the next year when I got signed to the guard with Arcane and Bo, I remember we'd like hop in our old Discord that we have with me, him, and Blur Flavors. And he'd be like, dude, I hate fighting you guys. Like, I hate that like I'll be winning, I'll be like destroying the lobby, and then we run into you and you just kill me. Like, I hate it. Like, so we would always have like banters where it's like everybody else is easy to kill, but we can't kill each other because we play like pretty similarly, and like we're like expecting and know how each other play. So it's like we can just like bait each other pretty much when we're on other teams. And but yeah, coming together now, dude, it's been a treat. Like I don't know. It's been a little rough, like with the squad, because like Madison Watson kind of butt heads. I think like they kind of are both like a little bit stubborn. But I mean, I'm like the middleman, you know, like I've got my shit together. Like I'm married, I ain't got problems outside the game. And so they'll bro, this last week it was crazy, bro. This last week, or I should say this last week and a half. This last week and a half was crazy, dude. Like every day was something new with those guys. They had girl problems, or they were just angry at each other. Everybody, as Enoch would say, he's got that poo-poo head.
Mr. Poopy Pants.
This is a stinky, yeah, Mr. Poopy Pants. Yeah, they were poopy pants for like the last maybe 2 weeks, dude. And I swear to God, for 4 or 5 days after or in between scrims, on the double block day, I had to like literally like, guys, shut up, like, and I had to give them a pep talk, get everybody smiling. Like, because dude, if I wasn't on this team but like Madison Watson were together, this team would have imploded, I think, already. Like, I'm not kidding. Like after that update change, and dude, we lost our entire identity. But yeah, dude, overall, bro, it's been so sick to like play with Watson, because like me and him are just always on the same page. Like we're homies, pretty much brothers.
So I'm pretty sure it was you where like you drove, I don't know how many hours, picked up Watson. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, so I mean, I told this the first time on the podcast, but yeah, so pretty much season 10. So season 10, Watson's internet was always so like just unreliable. It would go out, but for some reason on season 10 when we did the first number 1 grind with, and I got number 1 and he got number 2. For some reason that grind, his internet like never wavered, you know, it kind of was like there the whole split. And then right after that split, his internet just kind of fucking like turned off. Like he couldn't play. He literally couldn't stream. He didn't stream for like an entire month. Couldn't play the game for a while. And he like just messaged and he's like, "Hey guys, like I can't do this like anymore," into like our group chatter pretty much. And he's like, "I just can't play. My internet is like not working." He's like, "I got to go get a job with my dad." And I pretty much just like walked into my mom's room, or like just like texting my mom. I can't really remember. It's been a while now. I just asked my mom. I ended up asking my mom, and I was like, "Hey, can like Watson come in and like just stay with us? Like we got an extra room. My parents built a house, and it's a good sized house, and it's just me and one of my brothers in there, or it was me and one of my brothers in there at the time." And my mom was like, "Sure, but like he's gonna have to pay rent." And I was like, "Well, I'm like, whatever, I got savings. So I paid my mom for like 4 months of rent. And I told Watson, I was like, you can come stay if you want. Like, the offer's on the table. If not, then like it's great knowing you. Like, good luck with everything, pretty much. And like, and he like talked to his parents, and his parents thought that I was like a sex trafficker. Like, they were super worried as parents. As parents should be, like,
that's
super
fair.
protective of their
That's
baby.
fair.
Hey, mom and dad, I'm gonna go like move in with this random guy I've been playing Apex with.
Yeah,
It's gonna go
random
great.
guy on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they pretty much told him no. And because they told him no, he was like, well, he like thought about it for a day, and then after a day or two of thinking about it, he's like, dude, come get me Friday. And like, because he didn't want to fly, because he didn't want to have to ship all of his shit. I'm not gonna lie, all of his crap, I shipped it to him after he moved out, and like he wouldn't have been able to afford the shipping anyways, at the time. And so pretty much he was like, just come get me Friday, and I was like, all right, like, I'll be there. So like, me and one of my best friends in real life, we just like packed up Friday or Thursday night, like 9 p.m. or something like that. Got there, or like drove 22 hours, but it was like, because I had to stop for gas, it ended up being like a 24-hour trip there. So yeah, pretty much like one day I just got in my Honda Civic, I'm 6'6", my best friend's 6'5". We drive 24 hours, pick up Watson in this little town in Arkansas. I swear to God, y'all ever seen like like the Call of Duty Nuketown, the map Nuketown? You know how it has a population sign and it tells you how many people are in the lobby, pretty much? And they had a sign outside his town that had the population on it. I've never seen that before in my life. I've never seen a town that has a sign that has the population of the town. That's how little his town
what
was.
was the pop?
Yeah.
It was like 1,800 people. Like,
Damn.
like
That was my high school.
It's like bigger than what. Yeah, exactly. It was like 1,800 people. It was a little bit higher than 1,800. It was like 1,860 or something like that.
That is small.
And
Very small.
it's so small, bro. And we got there like literally about 24 hours after we left. We're there for 30 minutes. His parents come out, like, introduce themselves, or his stepmom and his dad come out and introduce themselves to me, and I like realize that I'm not like this scary guy, that's gonna take their baby or whatever. So they were like they kind of just didn't like, they didn't want Watson to go or like come with me, but I think like after they met me, they were like, oh dude, like this guy's not gonna hurt nobody, like he's chilling. And then we packed up. We took Watson's Herman Miller. It's the same chair I'm sitting in, but it's not the exact same one. It's just the same brand. Herman Miller, like Aeron right here. Put it upside down. It was like a work of art trying to get it into this Honda Civic. And put his computer in the back. And then, bro, he came out with like his little mic stand. It's like a blue snowball was his mic, and then like one little box of clothes. Like, I swear to God, he had like 3 pairs of pajamas, underwear, and like one shirt. That's what he brought. Like, he had like no clothes, he had no belongings, but he had his mouse, his keyboard, his mic, and his computer, and then his like monitors, his 2 monitors that he had, and his chair. The most important thing to him was his chair at the time, to put into perspective, because his back was like kind of messed up. It's so crazy. And then we drove 22 hours back. So in 48 hours, I drove to Arkansas from northern Utah to somewhere in Arkansas. I don't remember where it was at. And then drove back. So it was 44 hours of 48 hours was just driving. And then Watson lived with me for 4 months. Ended up getting number 1 again while he was with me. And then
Hashtag 3 deep.
hashtag 3 deep.
Yes, sir.
And then he just sent me a clip of us 3 deeping somebody, I'm pretty sure, today.
Really?
Like,
dude,
you gotta
sauce in my way. That was high key, that was like the most like fun 4 days of Apex. Just absolutely
because everybody else, dude,
shameless.
every other team. So for people that don't know, that are watching this, 3 deep is like, just like we would post up somewhere for 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes at a time, and just like a random nut on Storm Point, and just wait just to rat somebody. And in season 13, bro, everybody was down bad, losing RP, but we were like we were chilling. I was playing like
You were
just
Valk.
like funny background. Yeah,
Oh,
I was
dude,
just
so
we
fire.
were just playing like background music and stuff, and we were just chilling, like just ratting people on like every fight, bro. Because if you like play the game normally in season 13, you would just get third partied on third party and then third party and everything. But like if you caught a team by ratting them, dude, it's so funny. It is like the only way to gain RP, and we were gaining.
We were very efficient. Dude, the funniest one is the crypto drone flies through. We're posted up all different corners, and then they still ran into our building.
Yeah.
Did they see us? Do you think they saw us?
I don't know. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
But yeah, other than that, like pretty much like that thing, like watching this live with me for 4 months, you know, got enough traction on the stream, made enough money to move back into like a trailer park in Arkansas where there's a little bit better internet.
It's always the best story. I know you already told it last time, but it's like always the best story.
That is like a story that you will be able to tell like for your entire life, and nobody will be like, "Oh, Keon, like you've said that story enough," you know? Like it's gonna hit every time.
I gotta say, like, you guys ever like watch biographies of like multimillionaires or like titans in the industry of like Henry Ford or whoever, and they all have a story of like starting from nothing and then just becoming who they are. Bro, you gotta understand, if it wasn't for you, there's a possibility that Watson isn't in the position that he is right now. You know, like, he has an opportunity to make generational wealth just from playing in video games, and you're a massive part of that. You know, it's insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like no one saw that coming, though. You know, like even he says that he's like it's not really like no one could have saw him going from 300 viewers to 13,000 in a week, you know, like after like memeing up with Hal and stuff. So yeah, but I agree, like it is crazy to think about that, bro. Like when you think about like if you kind of like take a step out of your, like for me, if I take a step back and like kind of look at it from a third person's perspective, it's like I get chills, you know, thinking about it. Cause like he was genuinely gonna quit and just give up, you know, and he was gonna go hate his life working wherever he was going to work, like on a farm, you know.
Levels, bro.
Levels.
Just crazy. Yeah.
Why?
Levels.
What do you got for him?
So I kind of wanted to go back to, you talked about his Watson and Madness kind of hating each other right now. And I'm so glad you brought it up first, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to ask this question, because I don't want it to come across as like, oh, this team hates each other, because it's not like that. But it is funny. Like I spent like a long time watching you guys this weekend just because I wanted to see how you guys like interacted. And there was so many little arguments between like both of them. And it was just, I was just like, what's going on here? And then you hear you like in the middle of it trying to keep everybody, you know, in the right spot, you know, do whatever you have to do to ensure yourselves a good game. But so I kind of wanted to attack this from your angle, not really Watson's or Madness's. From your angle, It's like, okay, you have somebody who was a former IGL of a team that basically won the tournament. I mean, they got second, but they basically won that shit, and they carried. And then you've had Madness, who's been an IGL for successful teams for a long time as well. But it does seem like you've kind of taken on like that co-IGL role, and it suits you very well. Like hearing you be able to shoot down things that one of them wants to do is like, no, we can't do that because of this. No, we can't do that because of that. Like, how was it that something they put upon you and like, hey, we need you to be this third voice, or was it just something that came naturally from you playing as long as you have with both of these guys?
I think like, so when I was on the guard with like RKN and Bo, I also played for RKN, who is a hard IGL. Like he just knew exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, because he like, that was just like who he was. Like everybody knew that he was going to get us like literally call zone from round one, get us into end game every single game. And like he didn't need the help for the most part up until like we got onto Sentinels. And then when we got to Sentinels, and then all that crap happened with like just having a shit coming pretty much. What did we come like 19th or something like overall? Like we are not good.
Wasn't great.
Like well, it was a rough pro league split for getting signed to your first tier 1 org and then just crapping the bed. When Bo quit and then we picked up Zanile, we thought Zanile was going to be better at calling off of RKN fights and stuff like that because of his past successes with SSG with being dropped in frags. Turns out he wasn't that great at calling, even though he's been in the league and experienced for so long. And so I think like around that time, I started gaining a lot more of my own game IQ. So before that, Arcane played the game for me. He told me where to go, what to do, what to shoot. Now, when Bo left and Arcane kind of lost his mojo because of the meta change, and we couldn't really play the same way because of the one-waying with Catwall and Searscan. Like Arcane was kind of lost, and like I couldn't help him, and I felt bad that I couldn't help him because like I felt like I needed to be like that guy. Since Zanile didn't really do it as well as we thought he was going to, and so then ended up getting dropped from Sentinels, and I went and started playing with Madness and Shuby, and again, it's another Madness is the hard IGL. Shuby doesn't really call anything, and we ended up like people thought we were gonna make it to LAN or make it to the LAN from the LCQ, because we were like really dominant in all those CC scrims or whatever they were called, tier 2 scrims leading into the PLQ, and Madness's calls weren't the best in that. And I found out, like, I just from thinking about it, is just like, if you only have one person's ideas and that person doesn't have a good day, no one has a good day. So now with like Watson and Madness, we let Madness hard IGL and like we just bounced ideas off of him and just like kept throwing ideas at Madness pretty much the first half of this split and let him pick out of everyone's ideas. And then the update hit, and like, well, we were doing good the first half, right? We came third, fourth. Easily all 3 of those days could have been winnable days. We just kind of, the simple mistakes cost us the first places. And then the half point hit, season 20 came out, everything changed. The pace of play is different. You have to be way more adaptive. You got to like see the macro rotates in completely different ways, like the way you position yourself throughout the map to get to where you want to end up. And Madness playing Apex for the last, 4 years. He used to be at the top with CLG, went through a bunch of lows, and now he's coming back up to the top. He was having a hard time seeing the pacing that he was calling. And since me and Watson play ranked every day for 10 hours a day, the people don't really realize how beneficial ranked can be when a new meta comes out. And so we pretty much, the second half, we trusted Madness going into that ALGS day after the update, and he was a hard IGL. We listened to him, came 19th. And so then the last 2 weeks, a lot of the butting heads was just that like me and Watson know how to play the game in this current meta, but Madness is like wasn't really calling well, and he wasn't trusting us enough. So we pretty much, Watson talked to PvP, our coach JMO now, and he was just like, dude, like we got to do something. Like we can't have him. I didn't really have a part of this. I didn't know that this was going on at the time. I got told this after like Watson kind of talked to JMO, and but pretty much we just came up with the idea that until Madness figures out the pacing of everything, we're going to take him off the IGL role. He's going to tell us where he thinks zones are going, and me and Watson and him are going to collectively figure out a way to get there. And yeah, like there a lot of the times, like when we're playing our best is when I'm talking my most. If like, so the 19th place, I didn't talk really at all that day. The first place day, that day I felt like I knew exactly what was going on. I knew what both of them wanted to do, and that I would kind of, So the dynamic we have right now is that like Madness says a plan, Watson says a plan, and I'm like thinking about like, okay, we can do like a little bit of both. We can do Watson's plan or we can do Madness's plan. And like I'm like kind of like, I feel like right now I feel like I have like that power say where when I say like, oh, I think that one's good, then everybody's like, holy shit, let's do that one, you know? So I don't really know if I'm technically co-IGLing, but I do feel like right now, like I feel like right now I could actually IGL my own team if I wanted to, but like I like my team, so like why would I? At least like from a macro stance and like noticing what. So I think also let's like take a step back again. Like we changed comps from the bang blood caustic, and we changed it to a Valk Watson comp. So now I know how to play the game because I learned everything I needed to learn about Valk Watson comp from Arcane. And so right now, they're like, can we go here early? When can we go here? How do we get there? And I'm like, oh, bro, I can make. We Valkoed out talk command. I'll get you in the barometer. Like I'll get you exactly where you want to go. I know what ring we can play this spot. I know what ring. I know where you place the gen. So right now, I think like the madness like idea of getting in the zone is like going in a straight line of zone because he's played every meta ever since the game came out in competitive Apex. And Watson's played a fuck ton of ranked and so much edge that he knows how to maneuver the edge playstyle. And then I know how to play the comp. And so like we have Madness telling us where the zone's going. We have Watson doing the macro to get us purples. And we have them asking me questions about what is playable, what isn't playable, and can I make it there? And I'm like, oh, 100%. Like, we'll get there. We're going to land here until the ring finishes closing. And then this spot is playable with Watson and no one can fuck with us. And then we like win the game for free pretty much. And so like that's, I think like we're all technically right now, we're just all collectively IGLing together, if that makes any sense. And like, this is like, it's like risky to do that because anybody can call something and anybody can call off something. And like right now, I feel like the dynamic we have is that like I'm trying not to call as many fights. I just call out when we have to wipe things. Because like I feel like I'm really good at noticing when teams fly in like right behind us, or like when I know I have a feeling I get bloodhound scanned. I recognize when like things are coming from directions that they are just focused on like in front of us. So like the day that we took first, we had like I tweeted it. It was for my YouTube video that I put up, and the intro was like, you can just hear me come like, we should go third this in, or like Watson comes to go third this fight in the tunnel. The second game on World's Edge that we dropped like a 19 kill banger, and Madness is like, yeah, like I'm swinging this, I'm ulting, we should wipe this, and I'm like, okay, like as we're running in, I'm like, I get bloodhound scan and I hear a team sliding behind us. I'm like push, we're getting mirrored, like we have to wipe this no matter what. And then like everybody's on the same page, like everybody knows. Once I gave like the right, like everybody has all the information. There's a third party opportunity in front of us, and we got people coming from behind us. It's a do or die here, so it's like we're just all together. And like in this meta, it's like if you're not together in this meta, you are not doing well. Like TSM is an example right now. They've been struggling at like being cohesive, and like I think it's because they're probably putting a lot of pressure onto Hal and expecting Hal to make that call. And like if Hal has a bad day, TSM's gonna have a bad day. So it's like I think like having a collective group and kind of splitting the weight of all those stresses and all those calls will like kind of make the meta like better, if that makes sense, like easier.
Absolutely. What do you got for him?
Yeah, it's interesting how important your previous comp experience is playing out into like everything that you just said and like all of the info you learned from playing with Arcane, because that's like very similar to Enemy's case, because Enemy former hard zone guy and then is now playing with DSG and their play style, which is not very hard zone, but like he's able to provide that information in like a very like similar way because he has that background of being in that circumstance. So it's cool to see just how much of an impact, and even though like that back end of like the Sentinels days, right? Like where you guys weren't performing as hot from when you guys, because you guys went from like absolutely like the league was your bitch, right? Like you guys were just like walking it, and then you had some troubles. But it's really interesting to see how all of those troubles that you went through, even though they weren't the greatest, you can see how it's directly impacting your success now. And so that's really cool to see.
So, you said you used to team with Watson, used to team with Madness, right? How did you guys come together, right now to make this Furia squad? Like, what happened? What had to fall into place?
Right. So we were playing with me and Madness. We were playing with Shuby, right? Shuby got poached to E8, just because a paycheck's a paycheck. We're free agents. It is what it is. Understandable. That's just how the game goes. We picked up Vaxlon and we were killing it. Like me, Madness, and Vaxlon had a really good dynamic. Vaxlon had teamed with Madness before, and they played very well off of each other. I didn't think Vaxlon was as good as he was until we picked him up as a free agent team, and then I realized, I was like, dang, this dude is insane. Like this dude, he goes under the radar, I think, a lot in terms of at least for me, I didn't ever put him up there with the greats. I didn't think he was that good, but after I started playing with him, I was like, dang, that's how 100 Thieves was a top 5 team for a while, being triple M and K. I was like, it's because of Vaxlon. Onmu had the calls, Vaxlon had the mechanics. I don't know much about Scurry still, but so pretty much, it was me, Madness, Vaxlon. We were killing it in pretty much everything off season related, like scrims, all that stuff. Every once in a while, like a tournament, we were just killing it, dude. We played really well together. And Furia was just kind of struggling with Alb and Pan and Zera. They didn't have a hard IGL. They didn't have someone that was confident in making calls. They weren't playing well. They didn't. I don't know. They just weren't doing good after Watson kind of left them. And Furia approached me because Watson gave me the vouch. And they were like, "Hey, you want to come play with Pan and Zera?" And at this time, for perspective, is if I leave Madness, he loses his Pro League spot. So I had the opportunity to join Furia with Pan and Zera because Watson at the time still did not want to come back and play. And so obviously the org is going to try to weigh their options and figure out what they can do. And pretty much I ended up telling them no. I was like, listen, dude, even if you pick me up and I secure a paycheck or whatever, and I'm gonna I'll bring whatever this and this to the table. I'm not exactly what you need for your guys' squad to be successful, is what I told them. And they're like, all right, cool. But I did tell them I had trial, and I told Madness and Vax on that, and they ended up not trialing me. They did ask me to on a Monday, but I told them I'd do it on Tuesday because I was playing Monday scrims. I already told my teammates Vaxlon and Madness that I was going to play with them that day. And then they trialed someone else on Tuesday, and anyways, they ended up dropping Alb before they kind of knew if I was going to join. From what I understood, it's they were letting Alb go, no matter what. And so they didn't really have a third, and pretty much I got a call by the manager, Henry is his name, and he just called me. He's like, okay, hypothetically, if we drop our roster, if I can convince Watson to come back and play, would you play with you, Watson, and Madness? And that, it's a shitty situation because me and Madness were doing so well with Vaxlon, and everybody thought we were going to be top, I don't know, top 5 NA because the dynamic we had, because we were killing it for a while. I think our worst placement in scrims was only one day, and it was a 15th, and then every other day was top 5 minimum that we ever played, and that was across an entire month and a half of scrims. And at this time, me and Madness had already been approached by Snipe Down as well for like a phase opportunity. Because phase was also splitting up. Oni and Fresh didn't want to play with Snipe anymore, and Snipe didn't want to play with them anymore. And so they were going to go different ways and whatever. And we pretty much like weren't really interested in the phase offer because we didn't think we could win at all with Snipe. No offense to Snipe, just wasn't the puzzle piece we needed. We needed someone that was going to be like really versatile and play the character like Catalyst and Rampart at the time. But then like I got that call from Henry, and he was like, hypothetically, would you guys do this? And I was like, I gotta call Madness. So then I like got off the phone, called Madness. I was like, hey dude, like this is probably the best opportunity we're gonna get because there's not any orgs coming into Apex. Nobody saw any more new orgs coming into Apex at the time. Or coming back. I tried working my magic with like Space Station before because they were talking with EA and trying to get the partner deal. And I knew that, and they didn't get the partner deal. And I was like, trying to work my magic with like any orgs that I had connections to, in terms of getting us, even if it's like a small paycheck, just getting us signed. And didn't really have luck. The Space Station guys were actually pretty interested, but they didn't like Space Station didn't even come back into Apex until like right before Pro League, pretty much. Anyways, so because I had already like kind of weighed all of our options, and like Madness and including myself, I was like at all time low of like subs and viewers that I've had in like a long time. I was like, I need a paycheck, or I gotta quit, you know. So the opportunity came to play with Watson, and like I was excited for it. I was like, but I want to talk to Madness because it's not just a me decision. It's like it's a we decision because we really liked the dynamic with Vax. And I called him. I was like, hey dude, like this is the best opportunity you were gonna get. Furia, me, you, Watson. And he was like, if someone's gonna replace Vaxlon, it's gonna be Watson. And so then we got on the call and kind of like finalize things in that sense. And man, it was a tough night because I felt really crappy. I'm like a super loyal person, and having to tell Vaxlon that like we're not necessarily dropping him, but like we got a better opportunity, and like he gets screwed over, but like. So that really sucked. I didn't sleep for like 2 or 3 days. That still kind of haunts me. Like I don't have good feelings or good. Like I don't feel good when I think about that. Because I know how it feels to be on the other side of that. So, that was like the worst part about the whole thing. And then, anyways, like we told Vax, he was like really mature about it. I felt bad, but like you can only feel so bad. There's not a lot you can do in that situation. Like once me and Mattis made that decision. And pretty much we were told by Henry is that like if Watson loses his passion again and doesn't want to compete anymore, then we would have the option to pick Vaxlon back up. And so like that was like really a thing that me and Madness kind of had to think about, and like we were like, yeah, that's huge. Like if Watson quits, and like we don't just get instantly dropped, you know. So that, like having a little bit of security there was really nice. But yeah, so anyways, we started like teaming me, Watson, and Madness. And bro, I don't know if you guys were watching scrims at all. The early stages, we were not doing good. We were bottom 5 every scrim game. 28 points was like our maximum points in an entire scrim block of 6 games. Everybody was like, these guys are going to freaking suck. Like these guys are not good. Everybody that puts out any news about Apex, J Miles, I don't know the other guy's name.
Jayhawk. Yeah.
Jayhawk,
okay.
yeah.
I got a quick little thing to say. We were put in the Furia. Our podcast was put in the Furia. Like, hey, we're gonna all the haters. Like, we were thrown into that, but it was Jayhawk speaking, not us. Just wanted to clear that up. So yeah, Jayhawk.
We're not hating.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't like blame people for hating, but like to see that, like I don't know. I was like getting really upset in the early stages of us teaming, bro, because everybody was like, this team, like, yeah, they can be good, but are they top 5? No. Like, are they gonna make it land? Maybe. Like, that's a maybe. Like, they might not qualify to land. Like, that was like the expectation of everybody going into pro league was like Fury's gonna suck. And I guess people just don't put respect on mine and Watson's name when we get into like a game time situation. I don't know. Like, we've been playing awful still. Like, we're a brand new team. Like, I hadn't been teaming with Madness that long. I played one LCQ with him and an off sceseason, and we know how realistic scrims are, so it's not really like great practice. And Madness has never played with Watson, and like, so people don't realize that like we were pretty much a brand new team. Like, other minus me and Watson, but we haven't played comp since season 6 of Apex Legends together, and like even DZ and Moist, the 2 teams that are ahead of us right now, like their duo has been together for
long time,
so long, long time, and like they picked up the 2 best controller players in North America, so obviously they're gonna do good, Well, now you're good. You go.
Well, Key, listen, I was watching the Tom Brady documentary, the Patriots documentary, The Dynasty. All right.
Yeah.
In 2016, loser. In 2016, all right, was the season after Deflategate, the fucking bullshit. Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games, came back, just absolutely fucking dominated, right? And we ended up winning Super Bowl 51. He had a motto that year, FEA. You know what it stands for? Fuck them all.
What does it stand for?
Fuck them all, man. You know what I mean? You guys are sitting at 3rd right now, and it's gotta feel good. Like, just looking back at all the shit that people were giving you, you know what I mean? All the shit you guys had to deal with, forming a brand new team, like, it's gotta feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was really annoying because like I don't look at social media often, but when people like from my community and stuff will send me like all the links of people like talking shit. Like, that's like I purposely like don't open social media so that I don't see it, and then when people send it to me, then it like pisses me off even more. Not at the person that sends it to me, but like the fact that some of these people that like I thought were homies, like you can be straight up and say that like I don't think they're gonna be good, but like I felt like there was a lot of unnecessary hate from certain people. I'm not really gonna get into, but that's just like the name of the game, bro. Like I think that's just like the name of the game. When you're near the top, like it's like that's just how it is, So it felt good to come out and like prove everybody wrong. But I mean, I don't know, dude. We have yet to play good Apex, like, and we're in 3rd overall.
FEA, bro.
We're like it. Yeah, FEA, bro. But once we start playing good, like if we lock it in for this land, dude, oh man, there's like I'm telling you, there's a chance that like we're gonna surprise even DZ. Like DZ's gonna be surprised, like because when we play good Apex and we're not just trolling like early games. Our problem right now is just our early game. Like we'll just fight people on rotate and die. If we stop fighting people on rotate, we'll probably just nuke out every fucking lobby. So
yeah, and
I don't know.
I think it is interesting to bring up the hater aspect of it though, because it was a weird spot when the roster was officially announced, where it was all of you guys together. I think a lot of people were looking at it and saying, "Oh, this is a really good story. That's great, but like how will they actually play together?" And I think not too many people were taking into account how much you guys had already played. And I feel like people just weren't thinking about that aspect of it. And I think that's kind of where it came from. And like you said, I mean, the early days of it weren't great, but you're also a brand new team. So that's kind of where it comes from. You mentioned LAN, and I kind of wanted to get into that because I actually think you guys are a team that's going to surprise a lot of people as well. And for the people who watch you guys all the time, I'm sure they know what you guys are capable of. But I think you talked a little bit about this second half and how they changed in season 20. Obviously, lots of things went different. This new meta, I kind of want to get your thoughts on it overall and what you think about it. And if there's anything from your guys' game that you'll have to adapt going into the LAN to try and combat, the different parts of this meta.
Yeah, I mean, the new update and the new meta, I don't really enjoy it. Like, it's not nearly as fun to play as the last one. I feel like I said earlier, I don't know if it was when we started this recording, but I feel like this meta is a lot less controllable in every aspect of like your outcome. The last meta, I felt like you could control everything, even when you're in a bad spot. I don't enjoy bang smoke, caustic gas. I could handle the bang smoke with the cat wall, but man, bang smoke, caustic gas, and then you throw your bloodhound in there, and they're the only ones that get to play the game. GG's. I don't like that. Like, I want to be able to play the game. I think a lot of people are going to have a wake up call at LAN from NA, because everybody in NA that's doing well, except minus us, is playing a bang bloodhound caustic. And I don't know if you guys watched scrims tonight at all, but DZ tried pushing us, and they threw bang ult, threw down a Watson gen, zap zap. What are you gonna do now? You can't push us. Shot smokes at us, zap zap. What are you gonna do now? Throw a caustic ult at us, zap zap. Where are you gonna go? You know, like, so. And people don't realize that we're the only like Watson team right now in North America. Other than, I think Complexity plays a little bit of Watson on Stormpoint. And when we get to LAN, bro, like DZ and Moist, if they're gonna bangle Costco APAC North teams, APAC South teams, you're gonna waste your utility, and they're gonna counter it with a crypto EMP, and they're gonna rock your world. Like, because just because NA all wants to play caustic and run around the lobby, like, and just fight everybody, that's not how like competitive Apex works. Caustic and like Bang are not very good against Watson. So if you have one character that counters both characters, you're up a character. So I can't remember exactly what the question was, but I think like going into LAN, like, I think NA is not going to do as good as you think, because they're going to have a wake up call against the metas that other teams will be playing from other regions, because not everybody's just going to let NA walk over them like NA lets NA teams walk over them. So
that's how it is. E, what do you got?
Yeah, what would you say is like the thing you're looking forward to most about LAN?
Oh, well, I mean, being at LAN, I qualified for the last champs, and since I got kind of screwed out of that opportunity to play it in the biggest tournament of Apex to date, I'm just excited to be at LAN again, because people don't realize that like if you at the small percentage chance of you winning the tournament, it's life changing. So not only does it like grow your brand a ton, obviously like the prize pool is dope, but like it's literally just a life changing moment. Like, I feel like because there's only been 2 teams in Apex to do it, if a new team does it this year, you're gonna be the headline of everything. So I think like I'm most excited for the opportunity to just like prove people wrong, meet fans and make money, So
FEA, bro.
Nothing wrong with that. That sounds like a pretty good way of going about it.
Yeah.
All right. So, dude, let's take a step back. Congratulations on getting married again. It's massive, right?
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about like your relationship and how it is balancing being married, right, while being a pro player and a content creator?
Yeah. Well, I think like after I got married, I kind of like learned a lot more about myself.
What aspect?
And like so in terms of like just communicating, like I was a good communicator, but when you like live with somebody and like obviously like you weren't from the same family, you weren't raised the same, you learn about yourself, like little ways that like things that you do are kind of wrong, so I learned how to be a little bit more like, I guess, open-minded to different things when I got married, and like that not everything has to be like my way or the highway. a lot of like compromising and things like that. And that I feel like that kind of benefits into Apex as well, because I think I was really hard headed early on with like just like how I thought the game should be played, and I would always complain, bro, when I was playing Hard Zone with like RKN. I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be that team that was running around and just fighting everything. And I feel like getting married and just like ever since I met my wife, I feel like I've just learned a lot in that aspect, like of you can do the same thing or you can get to the same place doing completely different things. And you don't have to look at everything like a certain way. There's multiple ways around of like seeing and believing. And then like in terms of how I balance it, dude, my wife is like just like my best friend, dude. So people will say that like, oh, it's just like the honeymoon phase, and that like I got a lot of when I like told people that I was dating my wife for about a year before I got married. I could have married her the third day. The first day, I was like, damn, this girl's awesome. Second day, dang, like, holy crap, I'm in love with this girl. Third day, I was like, she's going to be my wife. So the fact that I made it a year without marrying her, like, that was way too long for me, right? And people in my chat, I remember telling it, and people, like, there's a few, like, just the trolls, the internet trolls, you know? I think they were just like, oh, like, you're going to be divorced in a few years. Like, you got married too fast, so you don't know her. Like, you can't know somebody that fast. And like people were saying that like we were just like in the honeymoon phase and that it's gonna go away. Bro, like my girl or my wife is literally like my best friend. Like the honeymoon phase, it's been the same since day one to now. Like it hasn't changed, hasn't wavered at all. Like so it's nice that like I don't have when I get off the game, when I get off my computer, I don't have that like that stress about like some people being single. Like they worry about if they're gonna find the one. They don't have to worry about like, oh, where like where am I gonna eat? What am I gonna make? You know, like my wife does it. Like my wife is amazing. She cooks dinner like almost every night, and there's leftovers for food the next few days. I don't have like I live a very lavish life. If like minus like really high income, minus take out the income part, I have a really lavish life. 1 second, give me 1 second. Hey babe, I'm on a podcast. I will talk to you when you get home. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
There's an example right there.
She
I mean,
just knew. She was like,
she
my
knew
ears are
immediately.
ringing. Key, what are you saying about me?
Yeah, she just knew. No, it's so funny, bro. That happens so often. I'll be talking about my wife and we'll call it like, or she'll be talking about me and I'll call her. It's so funny. It happens every time. But I think people like take that for granted, is that like a lot of like other gamers, they like for Madison Watson, for example, like they've been going through, well, Watson has had like girl issues for a while, like, cause he doesn't like do a lot outside of the game. He's been better. He's been going out and like being a human outside of his room recently. When I knew him and he lived in my house, I saw him twice in 4 months.
Damn.
Passion.
I swear he was trying to like, and I had invite him out to do stuff, and he'd be like, "No, I'm okay, I'm chilling, bro." But he'd be like, "Hey, can you give me some spicy nugs on the way back?" And like shit like that. But I think some gamers that are like single and whatever, I think they're worrying too much, or like maybe they don't have like the luxury that I have, where I get off and like my wife's here, I'm home, you know, I'm chilling, we're making dinner, we're watching a show, and that's like it for the rest of the night. Like we got date night or whatever, depending on the day. And it's just like, it's just relaxing, because I felt like I used to be really stressed, and like I was just always stressing over like what I was going to do next to become more famous. And I feel like when I was single, that's what I was chasing, was just like money and fame. And like after I met my wife, like my views on things changed, and like I'm just overall more happy. Like I feel like I smile a lot more than I used to. I like, and like I enjoy when I get on the game, it's like I'm there for like business, and like but like I'm also there to have fun, and like I have a better view on that, rather than just like, oh, I'm here to make money. you know, like guys sub to me, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so in that aspect, I feel like I'm really lucky with like, I don't know, competing. It's like, it's nice because I have like that support and and then like when I get off the game, I don't need to talk about it. Like when I had that 19th place day, my wife was like, "Hey, how'd it go?" Like it didn't sound like it went too well. And I was like, "It wasn't good. I don't want to talk about it." She's like, "All right, like, let's go get some food. Let's go get some ice
So
cream."
here's the thing: is your wife a gamer, and how did you guys meet?
All right, no, my wife is not a gamer. She loves board games, card games. She loves
Fire.
Love
she
that.
loves she loves like the old like Nintendo 64 games. Like she'll play like Mario Kart. She has an Xbox and she'll play like stuff right here. You can see the Xbox S right here in the background. And she'll play games every once in a while, but really it's like she'll only play if it's like if it's with me or something. I'm kind of grateful though cuz I feel like if once I get off I don't want to be on my computer all day. So it's kind of nice to not. And I met my wife at the gym. So this is a crazy story. So I was single. Me and my best friend. So I went through like I was in a relationship for like a year and 3 months, and then we split up, and I went through my hot boy phase. You know, like I was turning into a fucking. I got shredded so fast. I was in the best shape of my life. I was playing basketball and I was playing in like pro am leagues and shit. I was just like trying to turn into like something that I wasn't, you know. But I think that like that happens when you go through a breakup. Like you kind of just turn into a gym bro and whatever. And that's what I did. Like I turned into a gym bro, and my best friend was with me, and he just went through a divorce, and so we were both single. Like these two 6'5", 6'6".
Dangerous.
My friend's more. Yeah, I know. My friend's more handsome than I am, and dude, we were just rocking it, bro. We were just going through our like kind of like a hoe phase, you know. And then I saw my wife at the gym, and she was with this guy. His name's Jake. She was with this guy named Jake, and he was like just not a good dude. Like she was way too good for him, and he treated her like crap. But my wife is like super loyal as well, and she was like trying to make it work because he was good at one point, and she thought that she could bring that side of him back. And anyways, I told my best friend like after seeing her, and I was like, dude, I was like, how did Jake get that? And anyways, we're like bantering a little bit, and I was like, when they break up, I was like, she's mine. And so lo and behold, like a year later, I was grinding. I was grinding rank 1. I wasn't at the gym for like 2 months. Okay. My best friend heard from a friend of Jake's that they broke up. I pull up my phone, messaged her. I was like, hey, like, what's up? I want to get to know you. Like, let's hang out. Let's go to the gym. And literally ever since the first day, we've just been best friends. Like like I fell in love with her pretty much. Like I was already had feelings for her pretty much just like without knowing her, just like I was attracted to her. And then like after I got to know her, I was like, holy crap, like wow, you know. So pretty much she was with a dude that I played basketball with every once in a while at the gym. Knew he didn't deserve her. They broke up. Now she's mine.
You
So,
wasted no time. You wasted
no time,
no
bro.
time. Bro. I'm getting straight to the
No.
point.
That's love, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though, is like I think with when girls break up with a dude though, they were already over that guy,
Oh, yeah.
you know. So that's why like if I feel like when a guy and a girl split up though, the guy is always the one that kind of has those lingering feelings. I feel like girls kind of move on faster than the guys do. So yeah, I was in there.
There
Dab
we
me
go.
up, bro. FBA, bro. FBA, bro.
I love
Yeah.
it, dude.
But,
I
yeah.
also think you brought up something kind of interesting earlier that I've thought about, and I just want to get your opinion on it. When we talk about gamers and stuff, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
you got the two guys you're teaming with dealing with their own issues. I was
Yeah.
thinking about this on the drive home, and it's crazy that you brought it up, but I was like, man, because I have a lot of friends who are gamers as well that don't go outside. Like they just don't do anything. Like they just
Yeah.
game, and they're great people, but they just stay inside and they don't do anything. And I think that, like, I kind of worry about it. Like, I'm thinking, like, we're getting more and more into this internet age where you could basically live your entire life through the screen if you really wanted to. And I've been thinking about like the negative impacts of that. And like you said, so I have a fiance, story is very similar to yours, like very similar, and almost cookie cutter, exact same thing. And when I get off this, it's always like, okay, this is awesome, this is great, this is so cool. And there's so many guys who aren't going out and experiencing, maybe not even just the girl or whatever, like the relationship part, just life in general, like going out and just enjoying life. Like, do you worry about that a little bit? Because I'm worried that people are just not going to enjoy life and all of their memories are going to be saved on a hard drive. You know, like I don't know. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really worry too much about, like, I try not to worry about other people's problems or like how they live their life, because I feel like that's not like my business, right? But I do see where you're coming from. Like, I could have, like, if I didn't meet my wife, I could have stayed single and lived my life behind a screen for the rest of my life and probably been okay. But like, I think getting out of the house and like having those life experiences, as long as you're not being stupid and like just getting blackout drunk and losing your credit card and stuff and bars or whatever. If you're not getting out and like going and seeing things that you want to see, and even if you don't want to see them, bro, like go somewhere that you haven't been and just like kind of like just appreciate what it is. Because like, I swear to God, like, people don't understand this. Like, if you had a near death experience, bro, you'd be looking up at the sky, listening to the birds. You'd see life as a whole new thing. Like, I had an experience when I was a kid. I was like going to play pickup basketball somewhere. It was like around my high school time. So I was like either a sophomore or something in high school. And I was like crossing the street and I almost got hit by a car going 90 on a 40 mile an hour road. And I swear to God, bro, I was walking the rest of the way to my basketball, like to the gym or whatever, just looking at the birds. I was like, man, I love life. Holy, that was a little close. You know, but I think people take it for granted, bro. Like, I do love playing video games every day, and I do this still where like I kind of just take each day for granted, and I feel like that's what gamers do the majority of their life. People that don't go outside and kind of experience things, is they don't realize that like it goes by so fast, and if you're like not kind of aware of it, and you're kind of just like you'd rather be home and staring at your screen, you're gonna miss everything that life has to throw at you. So I kind of see where you're coming from. It kind of sucks that like some people will live their entire life on a hard drive and not ever go and do anything that makes them uncomfortable. But I can't necessarily worry about them because, you know, got to worry about myself. So.
Very fair. Can we get an update on the car you're building?
Yeah, so bro, dude, so I've been trying to get it into a body shop, and every body shop to get the bodywork and paint done. I've been trying to get it into a body shop for like literally the last year and a half, and they're just booked out. Like every body shop in my area is booked out. And I've recently been talking to this guy that he used to teach body shop at the college where I was at, but they shut it down because that trade is like going out of style. Like you don't make a lot of money doing it unless you're like a custom car shop where you like build like crazy stuff. You don't make a lot of money doing it, and so like the college defunded that entire program. Like you can't learn that where I'm at. And I know the guy that used to teach it, and so I like hit him up. I was like, hey dude, like how much I gotta pay you? I'll bring my car, like I'll put it on a trailer and I'll bring it each day to your shop. Like I was like, how much I gotta pay you just for you to show me how to do it? Because I can't find like a shop that will take it, because every shop is literally just booked out with insurance claims. People that crash their cars and stuff, like they don't do like old cars. So dude, my car is just like it's together. It's together, like all the body is together. I've got every piece for the car, except for the drivetrain or the drive shaft, whatever it's called. And I haven't bought like the new wheels yet.
And what do you got? I missed that part. Are you driving?
Like what am I driving?
What car are you talking about?
So it's a 67 Camaro SSRS.
Yo!
So my it's in my parents' garage right now. My parents' garage is a 6-car garage, but it can realistically fit 8 cars, and we've got 367 Camaros in there. We've got one of each. We got an RS, an SS, and an SSRS. The SSRS is mine. It's it's like a super sport, but it has the rally sport like deluxe package. But anyways, I just got the engine rebuilt. The engine was fine, but I pulled it out of a Chevy Tahoe, and it had 170,000 miles on it. So I just sent it to the engine shop, get it re-ran through to make sure that like it's like pretty much a zero mile now or zero miles engine. So it's like pretty much a brand new engine. I got the transmission, got that all rebuilt. And like technically I could put it together and run it right now, but I don't want to put it together and run it until it looks nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I want it to be painted and everything, and it's really hard to find a shop that can do it right now. And the guy that I've been in contact with, he said he'll come and look at it, and I've been waiting for that call, bro. I gave him my number. Like it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I like talked to him, and I message him or I go back to a shop and like talk to him, or I have my dad like go and do it because he lives closer now, and he says he's gonna come by and like look at it and just give me some pointers, tell me like kind of nudge me in the right direction. But man, it's tough. Like right now, I just can't find a shop that can take it in and like work on it. They're all booked out like for another year and 8 months.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Well, when you win land and you flash a little bit more money at them, maybe they'll take it in the back.
Yeah, maybe.
That's
yeah,
the plan
exactly.
right there.
Exactly.
There we go. Well, Keon, I feel like we could talk forever, but this has been awesome, man, and it's really been exciting to see. First of all, just when you guys announced the team, I think everybody was a little bit excited to see how it would go, and you guys are proving the haters wrong, man. Like you guys are doing great,
Damn
sitting
right.
at third right now, tied for it. Definitely going to land. I'm putting the stamp of approval. You guys are going to land. But is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we sign off?
No, I don't really have anything else to say. Just happy to be here. Happy to be going to land. Unless, like, you know, the stars would have to align for us to not to go to land, but you know, gotta keep the fingers crossed and just do our job. But no, I'm good. Thank you guys for having me.
I do have one more question, and
I
it's
got
not.
one too.
All right.
All right, you can go ahead, and then I'll hit him.
So, dude, I remember first time I played with you, I don't remember what season it was. It was Olympus, bro. You was sitting at like 10, 20 viewers.
It was
What season?
season 7 or it was like season 7. It was like season 7 or season like 8 or something. Yeah.
Dude, I remember playing with you. You had 10, 20, 30 viewers, and you were like, dude, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. It was the first time we ever played. I think we were playing with maybe Bunt or something. I don't remember exactly.
I can't remember who our third was, but I do remember it. Yeah.
And take us a little bit through that journey, bro, of like starting to be a content creator to actually making it, you know, where you have hundreds of people watching you every single day, no matter when you hop on, to then playing on the biggest stage in the world for Apex, our game.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, dude, like, I don't know. I was growing up and I was like always watching just like YouTubers and just, I didn't really watch a ton of streams until I got a little bit older, but I remember just watching just people play with their friends and just like make funny, hilarious content of like, I don't know, Call of Duty, like the KYR Speedy group with Louis Caliber and things like that. The GTA squad with Louis Caliber and Vanos and them. And I was like, dang, dude, that'd be so sick to be able to like make money just having fun playing video games, you know? And so I like, as a kid, I was like growing up and I was always wasting my time playing video games, but it was like a blessing because most of my friend group growing up was like got into like just doing drugs and shit, just kind of ruining their lives for a few years. And I felt like I was the only one that kind of kept on like a straight path to like what my goals were. And So like for a while, it felt like I just like wasted so much of my time playing video games, and then I got all the way up to playing my first year of college basketball, and like I was still just gaming, bro. Like I just would get on every night and play a couple games of Fortnite or Apex between going to bed and waking up the next morning for a morning workout. And I was like, that's where my heart lied. Like I really didn't give a damn about being a good basketball player. I was there because I had a full ride, you know, like I didn't give a damn about going to school. I was there because I had a full ride. And then the virus hit, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this shit. Like I had enough money saved up pretty much from working the jobs that I was working. But I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And so I told Mutiny Max and his Watson, I was like, I'm grinding this next season. Y'all can come with me or not, but I'm gonna grind ranked. And then we hit number one. And that's kind of where all the traction came, because I had no idea how to like grow my brand. I had no real, like, I feel like some people kind of understood social media. I'd never liked using social media growing up. I didn't have like, I had like Snapchat and stuff, and I had like an Instagram, but I never used it. I still am not the greatest content maker because I don't use social media. Like I just don't. I don't wake up in the morning and get on TikTok. I don't. It's not who I am. So I didn't really know how to go about it, but I was like, people will know my name if I'm number one in the world. That's all I know. So I went and got number one and ranked, because at the time I thought like that was the coolest shit. And like I saw who did I see? I saw Lou do it, you know, and that made his brand. Saw Sweet do it, and it blew him up. I was like, dang, like I gotta do this, you know. And that's where I got all that traction. And then finally I saw Watson kind of like get back into comp after we messed around with it in like early seasons, just kind of playing to play. And he goes all the way up to the main stage, gets ALGS Champs MVP. And I was like, damn, like I can do that too. Like, you know? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna put out an LFT. And I got on the Torrent. Well, I wasn't really on Torrent because Torrent pulled out of Apex. But that's who Arcane and Bo were playing for. And then instantly, first time in Pro League, top 3 North America with the guard, after we got that org. And yeah, I don't know, like I wouldn't say like the stars aligned, because I felt like I would definitely work my ass off, but there is always like a little bit of luck that goes into it. You have to be like a damn hard worker and have the talent to do it, and then also get a little bit of luck.
That's big, man. Now here you are, bro, getting ready to play another LAN, and I'll see you there, right? I'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be in the crowd saying what's up.
Nah, you're about to be the one of the guest casters.
Be on the
I don't know
stage.
about that. We'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed, man.
About to put you as our emergency sub, get you suited up.
Get me some of that prize money, man. You know, because Furia's balling out, man. I feel it, man. You got to believe it. Manifest it, man. You know what I mean? Picture that shit. Go fucking get it, man. Like everything you guys got, man. You know, moment of pain for a lifetime of glory, man. You ever heard that?
Yeah.
This is it.
Yep, it is, dude. I'm excited, bro. I can't wait to play in another LAN. I can't wait for I just love Apex, bro. I love competitive Apex, except for when you do bad. It's not fun when you do bad. It's hard to sleep at night when you do bad.
Happens. E, what do you got for him?
All right, so you already answered the first question that I typically ask everybody who comes on the pod, but I do have I have a question for everybody who's a recurring guest, and that would be, what would you say from now and then the last time we had our interview would be like the biggest thing that you've learned?
Oh man. Let me think. I feel like this might be like a 2-part thing. I feel like the biggest thing I learned was It's okay not to be okay. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got there. It's that you got there. I feel like those are the things that like I've kind of been like going by recently. And it's like, like you just gotta you just go. You just gotta fucking do it, And so what I've learned, like other than like I've learned a lot about myself, but like I've just learned that like it's fine that like not everything's perfect. It's fine. I've learned that it's gonna be okay. That like even if like life sucks and you make no money, life doesn't suck. You just gotta figure out a way to like look at things a different way. And like if like just like keep your goal in mind pretty much, so yeah, I mean the biggest thing I learned I felt like is just that like it's okay if not everything's going to plan, you got it. So
Love it.
Perfect. Love it. Love it. So Keon, once again, thanks man for hopping on, and it's going to be great. I can't wait to see you guys at LAN. Definitely going to be pulling for you guys, and hopefully by the end of this thing you guys are pulling away with that trophy there, my man.
Yeah, bro, that'd be huge. That'd be huge.
Would be huge. Take the car to the body shop. Give him some extra money. Flash it around. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, now exactly. You got to take it. All right, man. Thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
All right, ladies and gents, shout out to Keon for hopping on the show. We appreciate Keon for hopping on second time. Shout out Furia. Keon. Ladies and gents, heart to heart time. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it. Dude, again, just grateful. I think it's a blessing that I'm this grateful every single week. I haven't streamed in like a week, I will say, and I'm feeling a little nervous, but I saw Fox Eye, who tweets like the biggest streamers of the month for February. Dude, I didn't stream for like 11 days and I was still top 25 in the world for English speakers, which is a blessing. And just grateful for having my girl in my life. I'm about to spend some time with my family, so I'm grateful for that. And a lot of cool shit happening in the future for me. And it's something it's the number one thing I wanted from this year. So I'm excited to share that with you guys in the future, and just fucking grateful, man.
Hell yeah. Enoch.
Yeah, I'm kind of on a similar vibe. I mean, it's just building season, and I've got a decent amount of things that I'm working on and putting time and an effort towards, and even if the journey is a little bit long, I'm enjoying every step of the way, and I'm just waking up and I'm just trying to focus on just because like if I were to like make a list of all of the things I have to be grateful for in my life, and then all of the things that I could bitch about in my life, my grateful list is just so much bigger than the things that I would have to complain about, that like any amount of time where I ever start getting caught up in like a negative emotional state, it's just like, fucking why am I doing that? Like, it's just such a silly decision when there's just so much stuff going on to be grateful for. And so I'm gonna ride the similar wave as Pete. What you got, Wyatt?
I'm gonna hit the same thing as you, but I'm gonna go very, very specific with why I'm grateful today. My phone broke yesterday, randomly, out of the blue. Don't know why. Put it on the charger, kept restarting every 2 minutes. And I was like, fuck, got to get a new phone. Had to drop $800 for a new phone. Thankful that I had the money saved up to do that in case of a rainy day. But also thankful that the lady there, because my phone kept restarting, so I couldn't back up my pictures. And all of the pregnancy baby pictures were on there. And I'm freaking out. And she found a way to, she was basically just airdropping every photo. She would just click like 18 of them, airdrop them before it died. Wait, it would die. She would do it again. And she just did it and helped me out with all of them until I was able to save every single pregnancy photo, baby photo, all of that. So just grateful that I have those photos, because like my favorite thing is looking at pictures of like when I was a kid, just sitting around, all the family looking at them. I get to have that with the little one. So I'm feeling good. Grateful for that. Grateful for the show. Grateful for the boys. Grateful for Apex. We are thriving out here. Grateful for Keon. Thanks, Keon, for hopping on. Ladies and gents,
fire interview.
That should just about do it for this week of the Apex the podcast. We will catch you guys next week.
I have one thing that I could squeeze in. You guys wanted a teaser. I'll be having an announcement on stream. So this Thursday, the day that the pod will come out, 3 p.m. EST.
3 p.m. EST. Check
Little
it out.
announcement. Yeah.
Check it out. Go check it out right now. Put it in your phone. Put it as a reminder. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we'll catch you guys for another episode of the Apex the podcast. See ya.
Peace.